Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is KangaRuthless and I'm bringing you Game 3 of the best of 5 between myself, KangaRuthless, and my opponent, MooMooMugi, the pink Terran. So let's go ahead and give up the names real fast. I'm in the green Zerg, spawning in the top right position on Tal'Darim altar, and in the bottom right will be my opponent, MooMooMugi, and we're just having a little bit of banter here, Dibs, about how last game went. The third actually went up a lot faster than I thought it did.
Well, one base Terran is pretty strong, so.
I think Terran is the one race that can actually one base for the longest. I know Protosses can't do it for too long.
They can also expand the fastest. Hold on a second.
Oh, sure thing. Well, anyways, while Dibs is out doing whatever he needs to do, I guess I'll go ahead and solo cast this for the moment, point in time. These matches were actually a best of 5 between myself, KangaRuthless, and MooMooMugi. This is the semifinals of the StarCraftCentral.net #2 tournament. This will be for the Platinum and up only. And I am a high Platinum, and Moo is a, well, he's some kind of Master. I'm not sure exactly how high ranked he is in Masters, but he's pretty darn good.
He is Master.
He is definitely a Master. And he actually recently switched over from Protoss, Dibs, and you were just talking about how his Protoss was stronger than your Protoss.
At least in the SCC1. Last time we played a PvP, he beat me 2-1, so.
Was it a 4-gate fest, or?
No, he cannon rushed me.
Oh god, I hate when that happens. Actually, I played Dark Omicron in a ZVP, and he cannon rushed me because I went 15 hatch, and he cannon rushed. I was so mad at him. But on this map, Tal'Darim altar against Terran is pretty easy to 15 hatch the 2 racks. I mean, they pretty much have to do a proxy 2 racks all in. But if you watch that game with MMA versus Stefano, did you catch that game, Dibs? Where he did it.
What was it in?
I think it was in the IPL qualifiers.
Oh, I haven't really been keeping up on the IPL. You know, there's been a lot going on, so that's pretty good for esports.
Yeah, but Moo actually is gonna gonna bunker rush my main, and I know this isn't a big deal, so I'm only bringing 4 drones. I know that he's not gonna be able to bring any Marines here, and pretty much I just need to pick off this SCV. And so I have him in pretty good positions. His SCV will go down. He's actually going to cancel and get away. And now these drones could probably go back and start mining, but instead I'm going to decide to pick away at this bunker. Do pick off the SCV. So now I can actually start pulling drones. I might want to actually scout with my drone, make sure that Marines are not heading over my way.
Well, now you can just send these 4 drones to or not. Yeah.
Well, I actually just killed off the bunker, so that's actually a pretty big win. And as we saw in the first 2 games, I didn't do too well against Moo's macros. It's way stronger than mine. Those nice little time pushes he does and drops.
Yeah.
I just wasn't able to deal with them. And that's actually been one of my biggest issues against Terran, Dibs, is I have the hardest time multitasking against them, especially when they do multi-pronged drops. I'm just so terrible at holding those off.
Multi-prong drops are a lot easier to execute than they are to hold off, which is one of my main problems with them. I have a lot of main problems with them.
I think everyone at this point in time does. I mean, I think this GSL right now, I mean, how many Terrans were in the GSL round of 16? Was it pretty much just like 3 other races? Or 3 other players from other races and then the rest were Terrans?
Basically. Because
we had TSL Killer, and oh my god, I feel so terrible. I can't remember the Zergs. I think Koka's in there. And there's one more Zerg who's still out and about. Well, I can't remember, but a lot of people actually there.
Terran's with
yeah, Terran at the highest level is actually really scary. And,
do you even know his location?
What's that?
At your camera, do you know his location? Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You were scouting around with the laser.
Yeah, I did. So I know he hasn't scouted over at the top. I know he hasn't scouted at the left. So move my camera back over here. He is doing a nice spread with his Marines to get the best concave, and he's sending out 1 Marine here to patrol and to potentially take a watchtower. I do have an Overlord coming in from the right to position myself over this nice little cliff so I can see exactly where his forces are at all times when he decides to push out.
Yeah, he won't have areas for quite a while, so he won't be able to really see that overload.
So we can see here 22 Lings on the way and a Baneling nest going down as well as Zergling speed. I am preparing for a Baneling bust. This is an all-in.
Well, it's not as all-in as you would think. because you do have 25 drones, so you could drone behind this, but if you choose to reinforce, they will be pretty hard.
So I do have a lot of things in here, and Moomoo is going to scout this. He's going to immediately throw down a bunker. He's throwing down a barracks, and he's actually going to put his orbital command down in the mineral line, and he's going to make another barracks. So doing a pretty strong wall off against this. The one place it would be weak at is where the supply depot and bunker are towards the middle of it. Now, if I can attack fast enough, I could actually bust this down. I'm not sure what I'm waiting on. I guess another round of banelings. Two more
only
overlords.
has 15 marines, so this could do a lot of damage.
So we will see how this works. He is making another supply depot, another barracks, and another barracks. This is very baneling proof.
That is the biggest wall I've ever seen.
This is a very baneling proof wall, Dibs. When you see this as Zerg, you should pretty much run in one Zergling, see exactly what's going on. And if you see something like this, you immediately turn around your army, go back to droning up, and take a third.
Yeah, you could use those links to kill the rocks there, and you'd be behind, but you wouldn't be lost. But if you suicide everything in, that would be pretty bad.
So it looks like I am going to start pushing out with my banelings and with my Zerglings. 20 more Zerglings are on the way, so this is an all-in. We will see exactly how it fares. I do take out one of these bunkers, and I do take out the supply depot, but I just don't have enough here to really swing in. My Lings are able to make it around, but there's just so many Marines here, and they have stem. And they're positioned quite nicely. I am trying to run by, but all my Lings get stuck, so do absolutely nothing with that push.
And you are saying, wow.
I'm pretty incredulous on what just happened, so...
I think busting that lower bunker would have been a lot better, because all those Marines were down there.
Exactly, that would have been a much smarter idea. And I would have been able to just run in and start attacking this main, maybe start picking off some add-ons from his barracks, and pretty much just force him to engage in a place he doesn't want to engage. But instead, I engaged in a very tight chokes, and where his Marines were at the better advantage, so things did not work out for me. I am going for lair, and I should be sending my Zerglings right away to pick away at these rocks, and I should be sending a drone to start making third, but I'm just droning up here. 6 drones are on the way.
Yeah, you are behind in drones, which is not a place you want to be as a Zerg versus a Terran.
Absolutely not. And he's on 2 base, so he's going to be very far ahead. The supply is already at 77 to 55. Look at the income tab. 30 to 40. He's way far ahead of me. He already has stim for his Marines. He has combat shields on the way.
What you have going for you, though, is that you did delay his tech by quite a bit by forcing all these barracks. So he's really only on getting a start point like just now. So
I feel like if I had just seen that wall off and decided to hold back with my units and not reinforce,
just keep him contained with those units and drone up.
Exactly. I would have been okay, and I could have taken a third. I would have been safe, which I'm just now taking a third at the 11-minute mark. This is very late. As Zerg, you want to take your third as soon as you can. If you can take it before the 10-minute mark, better. 8 or 9-minute mark is preferential for your third.
Yeah, I've even seen some Zergs be so crazy as to take it at like 6 minutes versus FFE.
Well, against FFE, Dibs, what you're supposed to do as Zerg is you can either 2-base tech all in, do a roachling all in, or you can go for a fast third. Because if you do anything else, you're gonna be behind unless you can do some. Yeah, again, you have to do some sort of 2-base heavy aggression build. It's really hard for Zerg to keep up with Protoss off the 2-base.
I definitely don't like the middle of the road options. You know, you can either all in or try to macro with it. Which now that the infestors aren't as good as they used to be, macro games are hard versus Protoss. So I've seen a lot more all-ins. A lot more all-ins.
They are, and really what I don't mind so much is the fact that Neural Parasite range got nerfed, and I don't mind that as much because still for me, the hardest thing with Zerg against Protoss was sentries.
Sentries are pretty good. We're talking about the wrong matchup, though. But he does scout the third, yeah.
So we do have a Marine picking away at my third, but this is to be expected. I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. But I am taking a fast fourth. So if I can maintain these 4 bases and get them saturated sufficiently, I will be in good shape. Looking at the income tab.
That mute account, so that will deny drops.
And just looking at this I do scout this drop coming with the Overlord nicely positioned, so my Lings will pick off the Marines, and the Mutalisk will be able to pick off this drop ship, so the drop has been denied. Another drop, meanwhile, going for my third. And I don't think I have scouted this, I just don't have an Overlord in a good position to scout it. Another thing to take into account is
there's no drones there to kill, so you should be fine.
But he can still pick off the hatchery, and that's not something I want to have happen. I want to be on 4 base against a potential 3 base Terran.
If he gets the hatchery, Marines do too much damage. This is ridiculous.
Oh no, Marines are powerful, no doubt. But I'm not sending my Zerglings fast enough. I'm going to engage this with Mutalisk. This is not a good idea. I'm losing so many Mutalisks, but I'm just trying to stall at this point. I don't want him taking out this base. So I have lost 3 Mutalisks, but he's going to lose his dropship and all his Marines. So overall, a bad trade for me, all I have to say.
Considering he's taking his 3rd and 4th behind this, I would say it's a bad trade. For you at least.
So yeah, I am on 4 bases, still only on 47 harvesters. I need to be at the 70 harvester mark by now, at least, if not 80. I just don't have my bases saturated. Meanwhile, mutas are flocking around, but there's only 6 mutas. This is a problem with engaging small little drops like that with your Mutalisk. You just don't do as much damage as you would like with your harass.
Somewhere. The mutas are all spread out around the map. So.
Yeah, they might be as well. I'm not sure exactly where my rally point is. Yeah, I have a couple more mutas actually just hanging out. But I'm going to start attacking his natural here. He has no turrets, and this is a problem that a lot of newer Terrans have. If you see Spire, especially, you have to put up tons of turrets everywhere. Otherwise, you're just going to get your shit rocked, to be honest. So he did lose a good 12 workers there just from not making any turrets.
He did have turrets at his main and 3rd game, so
it's
these
just,
mutas can't do terribly much damage.
It's just funny he didn't have him at his natural. That's just kind of funny to me.
I think he expected the Marines to always be close enough to just stem him over.
But it's really hard to do with that wall off that he has.
Yeah.
He has a nice wall off here, but
I definitely would have preferred Moo having more turrets because they're so good versus mutas.
Okay, so now we're going to start with a little push out here. If I could have scouted this, my goodness, what could have happened?
Your army is split up though into 2 different groups.
It is. So I have one army here out in the middle, and I have another army trying to protect my 3rd. I have Banelings at my 3rd, which isn't even saturated. Oh my goodness. This drop's going to come in here and do so much damage. He's already sieged up outside of my natural. I'm in so much trouble. All I have to do is split his Marines here, and it's GG.
If these Banelings can just land some perfect hits though.
But the problem is they don't have speed, Dibs. I forgot speed. So yeah, I am going to get some really good hits off of these Banelings, but there's just not enough here.
Ooh, actually, oh wait, there was reinforcements.
Exactly.
I just saw, like 2 tanks and 5 Marines. And I think you could have cleaned that up with the mutas.
Yeah.
Marines aren't that good.
But let's look at the income tab. 39 to 60. I'm in a lot of trouble. And I'm still only at... I haven't even got my 1-1-1 yet, so... yeah, that'll do it for Game 3. Moo actually cleans me up pretty handily, and we'll go on to the finals of the SCC2, showing that he can play TVZ well enough to beat a Platinum Zerg, but we will see how well he does against, who's in the finals, actually, for the other bracket?
I think me and Sonny have to play.
That will be an interesting PvP. You play Protoss, yeah?
Yes, I do play Protoss.
Now, Sonny's PvP is pretty sick, so...
I definitely am dreading this match, because if it happened before 1.4, I think I would have won. My PvP was really good before 1.4.
Well, I think it was pretty much a 4-gate nerf for 1.4.
And you just can't 4-gate at all. Any Sentry build will just hold it off. And I had played enough games so that I was just very good at the 4-gate versus 4-gate. So, I feel like I could have beat Sonny in the 4-gate versus 4-gate.
Well, we will see what happens. Best of luck to you, Dibs, and hope to see you in the finals. Thanks again for casting with me. I've been your host, KangaRuthless. Be sure to rate, subscribe, comment, favorite, all those fun things, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.